Well, what's up, everyone? Good Monday afternoon and evening. This is the Last of Us Season 2 finale review and breakdown. We finally did it. It's over. We got 2 years to recover after this god-awful show and this god-awful finale to the show. Arguably, I'd say might be one of the worst cliffhangers in television history. I would say it's worse than The Walking Dead when Negan came out on, I believe that was season 6 of The Walking Dead.
I think it was at the end of 7 where he kills Glenn, and it does like the teaser with the cameraman
I
getting
thought it
hit.
was the end of season 6, yeah, and then the
Oh,
first
man.
episode of season 7. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
you're probably right. I think
I
that
could
was
be.
the last one that I watched was that first
Yeah,
episode.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but like this, even so, I've been going through the shills all day today, and like even you can tell they're not coming out and saying that it sucked. But you can tell right away that they are disappointed and let down by this finale. Some of them are voicing their opinions. Some of that, Roxy, Jesus Christ. Some of them are in complete denial. And it's fun. And like they're even admitting, they're like, bro, I don't think people are going to come back in 2 years and watch that.
I think they're going to go, oh, well, it's interesting. They'll give it one of
Like,
those, like whenever they're trying not to be mean.
everything we expected, yes. So Abbie shows up at the end, and then we get a kabang. And if you think Ellie's dead, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Like some of these people think fucking Roxy Stryer thinks that Jesse's still alive.
What?
She's like, I Googled, she's like, I Googled people we're going to have this on Wednesday. She might be nominated for Top Show of the Week on Wednesday's show on the main channel. I Googled right after the episode, can you survive getting shot in the face? And Google said, yes, that it has happened in the past.
What? This is the first time in her life. She's a 30-something-year-old woman. This is the first time she's ever bothered to look into this.
She thought, remember, she thought Joel was still alive. She's like, is Joel really dead? Is Joel really dead, you guys? Like, oh, I was watching like her personal review. She's like, yeah, he's probably dead, but like he could be alive. I'm going to
Well,
choose to think he's alive.
I remember Roxy, whenever The Rise of Skywalker came out, liking that movie. So maybe she has a
She
skewed
likes The Rise of
perspective.
Skywalker too.
Yeah, she has a skewed perspective though on death
Jesse is the Asian guy to be a
Mhm.
shill, the token Asian for the show.
Yeah, the one guy who actually has like a logical mind in this entire show.
Yeah,
He just comes
you
in.
gotta get him out of there.
He comes in and basically tells Ellie, "You're a dumbass. You're stupid. You don't care about
Yep.
anybody. Anyway, oh, I'm dead. Shit."
Tommy is a damsel in distress in this episode. Like he just shows up to get fucking owned by Abbie.
Mm, yeah, you get a lot of him in the Abbie storyline in the game. I know, so I somewhat remember that. So I think you like knock him into the water or something
Yeah,
whenever you're
and
fighting
they
him.
did the same exact thing in the show that they did in the game, right? They get the Abbie shows up. There's a kabang, cut to black, and then boom, you go back 3 days, and then we are going into season 3 for the Abbie story. And also, Abbie, as we said, Abbie kills Jesse, and then they go back, and do it. Like so, like I ask, who's gonna wait 2 years? Now, this is a cliffhanger. There's a lot of normies out there, and they're waiting what, a year and a half. This season 2 isn't coming out, I guess, till 2027. So you're
Yeesh.
telling me that the normies, knowing that the information is out there, they're not going to say, you know what, I'm going to go play the game, or I'm going to go watch the game cutscenes, or I'm going to read the spoiler review of the game or whatever, and I'm just going to see what happens. It's like,
Yeah,
I don't really want to go back. If Ellie shot at, or if Abbie shot Ellie, I don't really want to watch this show. Everyone's going to go back and spoil them. So I think that I don't think people are going to show up for season 3 at all.
they think this is still the 80s with Who Shot Mr. Big from Dallas, or like the 90s, Who Shot Mr. Burns and The Simpsons. They're like, we can keep it a secret for a couple years, guys. Nobody's gonna find out.
Ellie said, fuck the community so much for being a communist. Yeah, what a bitch.
Oh,
Yes.
Ellie.
We got
Yeah.
some of the love triangle dialogue, even though it turned out to be pointless. Like Ellie and Jesse arguing, like, she's like, oh,
JR.
it's gonna raise my child. It wasn't really talking about that, but Jesse's like, I'm gonna raise the child, and Ellie's gonna be there too, and everything, and like, oh, good lord. Druckmann deep down wanted to tell that story like a FFM. Well, I don't know. Ellie's the dad, so I don't know if Ellie's the father in the relationship or the other M in the relationship, or if she's the other F. But like, yeah, like three people raising a child with three parents, bro.
All I know is that Dina at least had some sense, because it took her about 2 episodes going from the fingering scene to the point where she's regretting ever starting this relationship, and clearly wants to get out of it. She's like, why? Whoa, was I drunk or something? What was I thinking?
Yes, then there was cut the baby out. I was like, God, they didn't do that.
Yeah, they really
that was a change.
Yeah, they absolve her of a lot of guilt in that scene, because in the game, that lady like sort of attacks you and you stab her, and then when you kill the other guy, he's like, oh, she's pregnant. Because just more relationship drama for you. That Owen guy and Mel, who's pregnant, they were in a relationship. I think that's who she gets pregnant from. Then he likes Abbie, and so he fucks her on the boat. You may remember from the game, unfortunately. And that's the whole drama with theirs. That's going to be season 3, guys. It's going to be more relationship drama.
Druckmann's probably going to be furious. Like, he's like, I got to shoot straight sex scenes. I got to shoot straight romance scenes for season 3 now with Abbie. Like, God, Druckmann's probably dreading having to shoot those scenes.
Well, and so think about this. We're going to have season 3, and this was bad in the game too, but you rewind to day 1, so you're just going to see a bunch of characters that you already know how they die from the previous season.
Yep.
So it's just going to be, oh, hey, look, it's Nora. She dies in the hospital. Hey, look, it's Owen and Mel. They die in the aquarium. I'm really in suspense now. I wonder if they'll keep in the scene where Mel jumps on a crate whenever you're on patrol with Abbie and them, and she slams her belly into a metal crate as she's climbing, because the pregnant women are just running around shooting things.
Unbelievable. Yeah, this was like not a good episode at all. The pace, probably the worst pacing of an entire episode. This is the least amount of notes I took. So yeah, so it starts off, Jesse like removes the arrow from Dina. We pick right back up. We're basically 2 episodes left off. And then we get this really bad scene. I guess I should pull up the show. We're just going to quickly go through this time, you guys. There's really not all that much to talk about on the episode. Like it's full-blown rush until the end. Let me share the screen. There we go. Boom.
Well, there is another scene to...
boom. There we are. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we get the first kind of significant... Well, yeah, I guess he's treating Dina, and she realizes her mistake here, I think. Because she's like, oh, shit, Ellie just ran off and abandoned me. This guy actually knows what the fuck to do in a situation.
Yep.
She's got the arrow in her leg from the Seraphites or scars. He takes care of that.
Mm-hmm. And Ellie, this is the scene I was talking about. We get this cringe. He couldn't help himself. Get this cringe scene where, yeah, there you go. Cringe right there. Bella's cringing for us. Bella like takes her fucking shirt. I think.
Yeah.
I was scared to death they were going to show Bella. If they show Bella Ramsey's naked body, I'm fucking turning the show. We're canceling the review. I'm done with the show. I do not want to see. We don't want to see naked Buzz Lightyear. We don't want to see that.
I wonder what the show reactions to this scene are going to be. They're going to be like, oh, lower the camera. Oh, come on, Druckmann. Greg's going to be like,
bitch from the Real Rejects. Holy shit. What's her name? Rachel.
Geez, she's going to talk about juicing again.
Like more juice. I want to see more juicing. Get the juicing. I know Dina just got shot with an arrow and is like bleeding out, but I want to see some more juicing. And yeah, that's that on the right is Ellie's back. Disgusting.
I guess that's from the infected, like beating on her and stuff. Whenever
not as bad as it could have been. Not as bad as it could have been.
Yep.
And
Dina's just like,
let me
what?
see.
I made a huge
I wrote down a
mistake.
couple things. Oh, I wrote this down. I was like curious. So like Ellie was in that basement of the hospital with all the spores and the pheromones that caused infection. Like, wouldn't any of that like attached itself to her? I guess it was raining.
Yeah, that's true.
So it might have washed. I wrote that down, but I guess it was raining.
Well, she
So
does
maybe
have a stupid moment here, though. Even though, she's not a problem with getting people infected, but she comes in, sees Dina's leg wound, and goes, is the baby okay? It's like, Ellie, that's not where the womb. I'm a guy, and I don't have to ask these questions.
The baby's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's not your baby, Bella. It's not
That's
even
just
your
not where
concern.
babies are made. They're not in the leg, Ellie. I'm sorry to tell you.
I can't get over the fucking eyebrow. Like, it's so fucking stupid. But how dare you say anything? And like people are starting to come out and say like, yeah, Bella Ramsey, she really doesn't feel like Ellie from the game.
No, she tries to be intimidating in this scene. Whenever it's this camera
it's resting,
angle where she's
bitch, and she does that thing where the same face for every emotion thing.
Yep,
you've seen like the memes of that. Who wasn't that like Reva from Kenobi? Like
there was
the many
one
faces
for,
of Reva. There was something from Disney Star. Oh, it was Ahsoka.
Oh,
It was Ahsoka. The many emotions of Ahsoka. And just they're all making the say it's like angry, upset, sad.
Well, the first time I remember that is there was Tessa Thompson in the Thor movies.
That was
Valkyrie, and it's just it's the same expression.
Yes, Tessa Thompson. Yeah. Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Yes.
Wow,
okay,
Grizzy confused two black women, racist.
There you go. Yep, yep. Okay, I'm waiting for the channel to drop. So, but awful scene here. So then, basically, Ellie says like, "Oh, I didn't kill her." Which
she beat her to get information out of her, but
she was gonna die anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
chased her down there. She's dead anyway.
She said she was already turning, and that's whenever she gave information. It wasn't from you interrogating her; it was just because she was losing her mind.
And there's that same face again, but with tears in her eyes this time.
Yeah, and when she's turned around, she's like, "I beat her," and I'm like, "You're not intimidating. I'm sorry. I know you want to be."
Ellie tells Dina that she was the cure and tells her like why Abbie came after them. Finally, Ellie is honest, something she probably should have told her before they went on this quest. Something that she probably should have told her when she said, what was it, 2 episodes ago, "Oh, we can turn around and go home if you want. Maybe I should give you this important information." But doesn't do that. And then as soon as Ellie tells her the information that, she was the cure, and Abbie's dad was a doctor that Joel killed, and that's the whole reason Abbie came after them. As soon as she tells Dina that, Dina wants to go home. She's like, "Yeah, I need to go home now. It's time to go home." It's like, "Oh, great job, Ellie. Good shit."
Which Dina should have already wanted to go home. She sort of. That was one of the most dumb lines of dialogue from the previous episode. Was like, "If you want this, I'll do this. If you want this, I'll do this. But understand, it's my decision." I'm like, "But you just contradicted yourself. It's not your decision if you're just going to go with whatever she says."
God.
It's such
Imagine sitting next to Bella Ramsey with her shirt off. That must be the most uncomfortable feeling in the world, chat.
Can't wait for Roka to be like, "Oh, okay, we're getting a shirtless scene here. Okay, all right."
I got a clip of Roka just before the stream started, and he said something along the lines of that. Oh, like people. Hang on, I gotta listen. I got it right here.
This.
I got it. It's about Joel's death. I gotta re-listen to it again. I got it right here. Working on the shills defend you guys.
He should be mad at his fellow Hispanic man dying. He should be, enraged.
Yes, okay, that's what he said. So he basically said, "I don't think that Druckmann and crew understood how big of an impact killing Joel off at the early part of the season would have towards the viewership of the show and people leaving the show and people getting angry about it and leaving the show, basically."
Well, you can tell Roka's not a gamer because Druckmann already went through this with the second game.
He said he didn't understand how much killing off Joel in the second episode would affect the overall viewership of the show and the feeling of the fan. Like, bro,
to be clear, and it's twofold. It's you kill off Joel and you replace it with the Ellie and Dina dynamic, which is just two like Gen Zers trying to quip at each other and, you know, be more badass while making sarcastic comments. It's insufferable.
mm-hmm. Then we go to Seattle, day 3. Ellie and Jesse have like the first of like 3 arguments.
I did like Jesse in this episode. I'll give it its only point for that. He just I'm not going to say that after that last scene. I was going to say undresses her. What I mean is like he verbally, you know, dresses down all of her arguments and everything and basically calls her a dumbass and points out how stupid she's been and continues to be. And how uncaring and how much of a bitch she is the entire time. I'm like, yes, based Jesse, good job. I know you're going to die because I played the game, but at least they let you own Ellie a few times before you go.
Yeah. So this is like,
oh, and they brush off how he found the theater. She's like,
oh yeah, they offered like a whole like, well, first I found this, then I found the horse, which you abandoned. I found
and the horse,
you know,
said, "Oh, we're there." That's pretty much the only way that would have made sense.
Pretty much.
It's like I took the most logical route into the city and picked this random building out of all of Seattle.
Yeah.
Which you two only ran to because you got chased out of the other building by the wolves, which is why it made no sense for him to find it.
Yes, and Wade Wallenstein's right there, like walking out in the middle of the street when, as you see at the end of the episode, there's like a football stadium filled with scars.
Well, they're in the middle of the street and they're just casually talking loudly the whole time. Like, even if they were infected in one of the parking garages, they would have run out and attacked them. They're just like, so anyways, we're in the apocalypse in this hostile environment in a war zone where everybody's on edge. Oh, what's going on with your personal life, Ellie? Would you like to finger bang my girlfriend?
Pretty much. Then like a gunshot goes off. And basically, they were chasing a scar. We're supposed to think that they were shooting at Ellie and Jesse, but they're chasing a.
Oh, it's a terrifying. Oh, never mind. It's just Bella Ramsey.
Yep. And then guess who's back? Jesse or Isaac is back. Holy shit. And then I started paying attention.
He gets like one scene.
Yeah, I think he got 2. Or was it 1? Might have been just 1. I don't know. We got 1 scene. No, 2 scenes before this. 1 episode before this.
Yeah, when he's torturing.
Well, Isaac is back, and then he just says, like, yeah, Abbie's going to be the leader of this place. And I, like, laughed. Which,
if anybody, you take one look at Abbie, and I guarantee you an army of soldiers is not going to obey her orders. She looks like an 18-year-old.
Right. And there's, like, there's shills who are fucking saying, like, oh, I really wish that they put jacked Abbie in this show. I wanted to see jacked Abbie.
I love how in this scene, he's like, well, by this time tomorrow, probably you and I are going to be dead. I'm like, well, maybe you should change your plan then. That doesn't seem like a very good strategy to have all your leaders get killed, other than Abbie. Maybe plan to have the grunts killed or something, and one of you stay behind.
Abbie's a man in the game. That is true. That is true. Maybe she'll be suffering from like gender. Maybe she'll transition. Well, she can't transition because they're going back in time.
Someone needs to make the meme of the actress from this and then just put her face on SpongeBob with the anchor arms. It's like how they're going to rewind her for season 3. The big old.
So this scene, we get more like love triangle drama. This is where Jesse finds out for certain that Dina's pregnant.
Oh, yeah. So is this before or after the kid is hauled in that the wolves are killing? They're in the park. Okay, so in that scene, it should be noted that Ellie is a dumbass again. She wants to run out and face 6 guys with assault rifles, and Jesse has to like constantly grab her and be like, no, you dumbass, I don't want to die. What are you doing? She's like, oh, you don't help him. It's like, it's not whether I want to help him or not. It's not going to be much help if we all just get mowed down as soon as we turn the corner.
Yeah, maybe like after they do like the flashbacks for Abbie in season 3, like they'll jump ahead a bit and then she'll have like the jacked arms or something. She goes like a Rocky training montage. She's like, or maybe like a Drago training regimen with all the juicing and everything. Did she juice in the game, or was that just supposedly supposed to be natural?
They don't mention that. They have you walk past a big like weight training facility in their stadium, because I guess it's like probably the Seattle Seahawks stadium, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's how they explain it, because that's how I remember Shills pointing it out at the time. He's like, they have you walk past a weight room.
What about nutrition?
Yeah. And somehow none of the men achieved this, even though they had the same weight room in an entire army.
All right. So, okay, jumped ahead a bit here. So basically Ellie's like, yeah, I'm going to abandon Tommy, who's being shot at by a bunch of WLF. I'm going to abandon Tommy and go after Abbie, who's at this aquarium.
Yes, not only is she stupid in that she doesn't know where babies are in the body, she doesn't know that 6 guys with assault rifles kill them, but she's also incredibly selfish and a bitch, which Jesse has to explain the entire concept of selfishness to her, where he's like, we need to go get them back. And she's like,
no, I want to do what I want to do.
Well, it's a good thing you're hot. Oh, wait.
So that's a good freeze frame. So she jumps on this boat to chase after Isaac. So I guess Isaac and a bunch of the WLF ride out on a boat off of a dock, and she goes after them, try and find Abbie, and then she just a fucking wave knocks her on the boat. Now this I thought was, I don't know why this was even in the episode.
Well, they mentioned in the post episode, they're like, oh, we wanted to put this scene in the game where Ellie's on the Seraphied Island. And I'm like, why? Because it doesn't make any sense in the show. She knows that she wants to go to the aquarium.
So she gets, so in a matter of about what? I don't know how long this goes. Like in a matter of about like 5 minutes, she gets like, she washes up on the Seraphite Island, the Scars Island. And then like a little kid walks up. Let's see if I can find the kid. Yeah, there he is.
Her.
Little kid walks up and then runs and gets the adults, and then they just grab Ellie and they go to hang her like that one dude got hung in the a couple episodes ago. So they do.
And I think she meets the leader of them, some woman who seems important. That woman who was deciding to hang her seemed important, so
I'm screenshotting this.
Yeah. Last of Us fans with Bella Ramsey at the next con.
Holy shit. Why did my screen go down? God damn it.
Yeah, no, it's a random diversion. It's like, and this happens in the game too. They have some random diversions, but where it's like, okay, I know that I need to go to the aquarium and I'm in Seattle and I just split up with Jesse. So now I have a boat. Oh, this is great. The aquarium's on the coast. But what if I randomly went to this island that's all the way across the water here? Like, it makes no sense. She crosses a massive body of water.
She gets picked up by these guys, and they go to just hang her to interrogate her or something. And then there's a gunshot, or there's like gunshots heard in the background. The WLF is attacking them. And then they're just like, oh, screw it. Just leave her. Leave her. We don't have time for this. Just leave her. And then they just drop her. Yeah, they don't stab her or anything. They just drop her and then let her escape, and then she runs back and gets on the boat and then leaves. Like, what was the point of that whole sequence? There she goes. This is like, how long did this take? We're at 33 minutes right here. 2 minutes. 2 minutes of the episode.
And they talk about all the effects they had to do this scene. They're like, oh, we had to get a big old tub made. We had to go on site and have all these generators on the water. We had to have wet crews to, film her whenever she falls. And I'm like, you could have avoided all that and lost absolutely nothing to the story, because this makes no sense to even have this scene in here. Like, sounds like you blew 90% of your budget.
Absolutely nothing. I guess the episode was really short as well, by the way. It's like 50 minutes. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he needed to pad out the runtime a little bit. I don't know.
So anyways, back to the plot.
Literally back to the plot. So Ellie runs into this, the aquarium. Ooh, that was bright as fuck.
You could seriously cut from whenever she gets on the boat to this scene, and you would have lost absolutely nothing in the episode. Like, just as an editor next time, whoever edited this episode.
She runs through and she finds 2 more of Abbie's crew here.
Happens to stumble upon them as they're talking about Abbie.
Yep.
'Cause
Oh,
apparently they're
that's
all
in the game as
defecting,
well.
which is what Isaac was talking about in his scene, that they were all defecting and hiding because they didn't want to assault the Seraphite place. So
this guy, this very intimidating man,
he's into Abbie.
Yeah, indeed. So so Ellie follows them. Where am I? I completely lost my point on the other page. Almost done with my notes already. So Ellie finds Owen. This is Owen here. Then he reaches for his gun, and then Ellie shoots him. And I guess as you can see there, she's grazed in the neck.
Yep. So
it goes through the guy. She gets Ellie gets a double kill. Shoots the man. It goes through and hits the chick on the neck, and then she falls down and dies.
Put in the Quake double kill.
Double kill.
And they changed this a lot from the game, because the way that this plays out kind of absolves Ellie of a lot, because she was shooting a guy that was trying to shoot at her, you know, so it was in self-defense that she reacted and had to do it because he had a gun and he was about to shoot her. So really, she shouldn't feel much guilt for this, because the person, he's the dumbass. He stood in front of the pregnant lady and started shooting at somebody. So really it's Owen's fault. But also in the game, they have a dog attack you as soon as you drop down to fight these guys. And it's meant to be a very deep emotional thing, because you kill the dog because it's literally trying to rip your throat out. So in self-defense, again, you stab it. And then as soon as it starts Abbie's thing that we see at the end of this episode, you start playing fetch with the dog. And it's like, oh, see, it's a different perspective. Oh, don't you feel bad now? Not really.
How many close-ups of fucking Bella Ramsey crying are in this episode? In these episodes, it's like they do the close-ups and there's tears running down her face. Therefore, this is great acting.
If you don't,
what show was it that said, if you think that she's bad acting, you don't know what good acting is.
You just don't. That was John Campia's female. I forget her name. John Campia's co-host.
His hired hand. Yeah. Okay.
Look at this. Like, just right up in. We got to get right up into her. That just cringeworthy face. And just like we got to see the tears, and that's good acting. Like, look, it goes on. It never ends.
Yes, and Mel is pregnant.
And you see,
so that's the big
and people
thing.
get mad that people are making fun of Bella Ramsey in this show. Like, look at this shit. Like, we're just skimming through. This is at complete random, chat. We're skimming through completely random. Yes, Chris Carr. Thank you. Thank you, Andreas, for that. Yes, and we're just skipping through the episode, and just every single time it's a hilarious, like, face from Bella Ramsey. And he's the Druckmann, and what's the other dude's name?
Oh, the bearded dude. I don't remember.
Yeah, John or Eric Voss's dad. Like, they're the ones putting her in this situation. I mean, they're again, like, look at this fucking face.
Yep. And so, yeah, she accidentally hits the pregnant lady, who then tries to tell her, like, how to do a C-section in 2 seconds. Doesn't work. She doesn't even try.
I will say thank you for not having her try, because I was like, God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sit through that.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't have shown it. Maybe have her try off camera or something, or like it's just below the camera. But nah, she just kind of freaks out and leaves it.
Yep. So Tommy finally shows up in the episode just in time to be turned into a fucking bitch.
Yep. And he basically is like, sorry, Ellie, we're leaving. You're being stupid.
You a dumb bitch. But then they hear a commotion and they run out. And as you can see, laying on the ground there is Jesse. Jesse is dead, shot by Abbie.
Yeah, so Tommy goes off to secure the entrance or whatnot. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Let me hang on. I got to screenshot that one.
Tommy, the survivor of 25 years or whatever, says, I'm going to go secure the entrance. But the great Abbie sneaks up on him and, gets him down somehow. And then, yeah, as Jesse and Ellie come charging through, they finally suffer for being stupid. As they could have been shot at any point wandering the streets of Seattle, but this time they actually pay for being stupid. And he gets popped in the head.
I think I forgot to get the other one. God damn it. Oh, well.
And Roxy Stryer goes, I don't know. He could make it. Palpatine returned and he got thrown down and blown up on a Death Star.
Indeed. Yep.
And I can't say
there
that's
he is. You can see the bullet hole right in his face down there. Oh, you can see it when I put it back up. You can see the bullet hole right in his face down there.
He's just taking a nap.
Yeah, he's just taking a snooze.
He's playing dead.
And yeah, basically very unceremoniously killed off too. There's like, it's not even like nobody even seems to care. She's just like, oh, let Tommy go.
Nope. Instead of developing the character, they off him after his like first episode back. He had like 2 at the beginning of the show, and then he's comes back and dies.
Yep. So there's your lead character for season 3, chat.
Well, it's better than looking at Bella Ramsey.
You excited? Yeah, I mean, at least it won't be as bad. Yeah, there won't be quite as many memes for season 3, at least in the beginning part. But I think when she comes back, it'll be fun.
At which point Ellie should explain, look, I didn't actually want to kill any of your friends, but they all started trying to kill me as soon as I asked about you. So, you know, it's kind of self-defense at that point.
So then we jump back just like in the game, and we jump back. This is the WLF hideout at the stadium. And we get, let me see if I can get it. Seattle, day 1. Oh, you see, we're coming all the way back
show
around.
Faces. Oh,
Jesus Christ! And that was the end of season 2 of The Last of Us. Doing the same exact thing as the game did, and Druckmann thinks that by waiting for 2 years, everyone's just gonna forget about all the disappointment and come flooding back to see Abbie. People aren't even gonna remember who Abbie really. All they're gonna remember is that she killed Joel and that she killed Jesse.
I'm sure they'll do a recap. They'll be like, here's the scene where she kills him. Here's what happened afterwards.
2 years.
Uh-huh.
God, we got through that one quick. Told you, nothing really happened. Nothing really of note happened in that episode. Just a lot of running around, a lot of just terrible dialogue conversations that don't really matter at the end of the day. And then like the ending, the last, 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, that's all that like really mattered at the end of the day.
It mirrors the game in all the worst ways.
So I forget the kabang. So we're gonna. I doubt anyone in the chat cares, but if you care about the end of season 3, I guess the bang that was from Dina shooting at Abbie, correct? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, because I know Dina comes in and then Abbie beats the shit out of her in that finale fight. Well, it's not the finale fight. They have another random detour.
What happens there? Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that she's like about to kill Dina, and then Ellie's like, no, don't do it. I forget how that fight even resolves. It's just
she's
like
she says that she's pregnant. She says that she's pregnant, and then because Abbie has a friend wasn't that it?
Yeah. And then I forget if like Tommy chases her off, or if Abbie just leaves and says and like decides not to kill her. I'm pretty sure, or something like that.
I don't know.
I know how the third fight ends, or the third encounter between them ends.
The third.
Yeah, because
let's just say very anticlimactic.
Yep, we do all. Oh, it might be that Lev comes in and because that's Abbie's like kid companion, the transmission character, and
that's right, we do have that.
And I'm pretty sure Abbie sees Lev and is like, oh, I'm not gonna kill a pregnant lady in front of this person, so I'll be good now. And so that's like, meant to be like a parallel to like Joel being merciful if he didn't want to kill someone in front of Ellie or something. So they and then they have a random detour and then they all come back, and settle down for a while. And then they all go down to California because they get a random piece of info, even though they're in Wyoming in the apocalypse, that a lady isn't California that looks like Abbie. Because this show doesn't know distance or communication because, you know, Abbie randomly finds Joel in Wyoming, even though she's in Seattle. She's like, oh, I know where this guy is. From some
Here's
trader.
a good question. Who wins the fight? The backseater. Who wins the fight? Ellie or Clementine from The Walking Dead? I'm going to go Clementine.
Oh, Clementine, easy. She's going to keep her hair short. Ellie's going to be like, is this how I kill you? And stab her in the leg or something.
Even Druckmann can put her beating the shit out of men all he wants to. I think Clementine would fucking own Ellie.
I'd say so.
SWA for 5. I don't know what's going on in the show. All I know is that season 3 is all about Abbie. Yes. So I'm thinking that either it's the full season is about Abbie, or it's like gonna be like a halfway. Like we're gonna get like say it's 8 episodes. Like the first 4 episodes will be like Seattle day 1 through 3, and then maybe a flashback. And then we'll catch up to where we are now in the middle of the season, and then they might go off in their own directions again. And then season 4 will be like season 3 might end like, oh, hey, there's someone in Wyoming who looks like Abbie, or like you said, or whatever. I don't know.
I think if they'll either have to try to conclude it all in one season.
Because apparently they've announced a season 4.
I think they're going to do season 4 will be the whole California section. It'll be like season 3 will end with like Abbie walking out, and then season 4. Yeah.
They rush through the first game, the better by far of the 2 games, in one season, and they're dragging out the second game, the one everybody hates, into 3 seasons. Like, what sense does that make? Like, Druckmann, you could have had the fans on board for at least this entire season.
We'll
and
see
maybe
if
the beginning, maybe a little bit in the beginning. You could have had a whole season. I don't know. Maybe Pedro was like, yo, I got these movies. I'm fucking doing Avengers. I don't have time for this shit. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know.
Well,
I just rush through season 2, but like, dude, you could have done like, season 1, you could have padded out season 1 a little bit, ended. I don't know. Maybe Bella Ramsey was aging too fast. Well, I mean, didn't have to wait 2 years, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they still had her be in the flashback when it was like 3 years before.
Yeah.
And they still didn't recast. They refused to recast Bella Ramsey. They're just like obsessed with having her be at every age. They could show a 60-year-old Ellie and they'd dress up.
They
Bella
can't
Ramsey.
recast a non-binary. Like, do you know the blowback from the fucking freaks would be massive.
Well, I want to see how people react though, because in the game, I think it was PewDiePie like freaked out and was about to delete the game whenever it went to the Abbie scene, because his whole chat was like, you're going to play as Abbie for 10 hours. He's like, 10 hours? You're fucking with me. He's like, no way. And it's like, so there's a lot of reactions like that of people rage quitting, And then I personally got almost the rage quit. I gutted it out, but whenever they had you conclude in Seattle and then it started going into California, and I'm like, is this going to be a whole nother this game is already 20 hours too long. I'm just like, what are we doing here? We're just going to get right back to another conflict between the same 2 characters that we just left the conflict of.
I guess so. Winter Fire for $5 in the style of Glenn dying, but as Jesse. Let's go lesbians. Let's go lesbians. I will find you. I mean, Jesus.
Cut his disc in half. That's pretty funny. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. I loved Negan in The Walking Dead. I thought that I liked his introduction. I think I've said this before. I liked his introduction. I see why the finale, like waiting a whole season. Again, The Last of Us is doing the same thing The Walking Dead did, but they're making us wait 2 years instead of 1, like The Walking Dead did.
And they haven't built up these characters at all. Like they've shadowed over Ellie,
absolutely
and the other ones nobody gives a shit.
Absolutely the fuck not. I guess you could say like, well, they just introduced Negan at that point, but it was like a great introduction. And the season 7 premiere, was highly watched. People did come back to watch
Mhm.
that, but then I think they just didn't like that. I didn't like Glenn or Abraham in The Walking Dead. So when I was like, you know what? Those are my two least favorite characters. So if Negan kills either one of those two, I'll be happy. And then he killed both of them. I was like, fuck yes, they're gone. Fuck both of those fuckers. And so I was into that season, but like, yeah, like the before earlier in that when they did the bait and switch death with Glenn and everything, it kind of like fell off. But like I liked Negan
Oh,
in
when he
that
hid
show. I
under the
thought he was
dumpster. Yeah.
yes. And they kind of did the fake bait and switch. Like I thought that was awful. But
Hmm.
it's like I was kind of like I didn't fall for it then either. I was just like, what, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, if they don't show it, it didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they even
Well-
faked out like having the zombies eating, but then they were eating another zombie that was like between him and them. It was a really like forced fake out. And then for this though, it's like the only characters who I have any modicum of like you built them up well, and this was true in the game too, was Jesse was all right. He acted mostly logically, and wasn't like a complete bitch and asshole to everybody. And then Seth, which of course we aren't going to get much more of him, but hopefully he goes with Ellie to California in this version. He's just like, we're going to get this shit done.
Yeah, but I can't wait to see like the upcoming like woke aspects that Druckmann, because like he has to put it in there. And again, completely forgot to mention this, chat. No infected in this episode. No infected in the last episode. How many episodes had infected it? 3? Is it 3 or 4? I know there were
horde
3
at the start.
I know there was
the subway.
Well, no, there was the first episode when they broke into that supermarket. The second one had the big fucking one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the attack on Jackson. 3 there was none. I remember 3 there was none. There was the subway one. Okay, then there was the 4 of them. There was the subway one, and then 2 episodes ago when even though they didn't do anything, the stalkers,
where
and
Jesse
then her
comes
going into
in.
the hospital with the spores. Yeah. So 4 of the 3. So 3 of the 4 episodes did not even have infected. And the final 2 episodes of this, and most of the episodes that had infected it, they were just there for just like a couple of scenes or so.
Well,
again, I said this before. This is not a zombie apocalypse show. This is not an apocalypse survival horror series. This is like a fucking, like, I don't even know what it is. It's like, it's not a survival horror show. It's about pushing as much identity politics, as much of his woke agenda as Druckmann can, with the zombie apocalypse as like a background, as something. It doesn't even feel like it's a threat.
Well, it's a plot convenience. It's only ever used to bail out the characters, like,
or kill somebody off, put somebody in an unnecessary stressful situation.
It gets Joel and all them separated so that Abbie can moiter them.
I mean, you look at this fucking the WLF base of operations. Like, I don't think there's going to be any infected fucking these people up in any way.
Mm-mm. No, they like basically make them they basically make it like not any sort of threat because they're very well fortified. The Seraphites are running around. They're not seeming to suffer from the infected at all. And, you could have had Abbie Ellie and Dina run into them somewhere on the way up to Seattle, but instead they just skip over that whole journey, just like they do in the game where they're like, it was fine. A cross-country journey. Yeah. That could never be dangerous. Oh, wait, that was the entire first game.
You could have had these flashbacks with Joel, like been basically season 2 for the most part. Then you could have either killed him off at the end of the season, had that be your cliffhanger, or just held it off, gave it like a habit, like, then we could have gotten to delve into the world a bit more. You could have gotten some more of the infected. You could have introduced all these other infected, like they introduced the stalkers, and it's like, oh, we're meant to believe that those are supposed to be like a big deal in this series. Like, oh, they might be getting, and they're just like, they're never there. Like you said, they're a plot convenience. Whenever we need to, put them, whenever we need an action scene, whenever it's getting a little too slow, we'll bring in the infected.
The WLF are chasing down Dina and Ellie. Oh, look, a bunch of infected come in, and for some reason, none of these soldiers know how to
They're
handle
fighting
them.
a war. They're fighting a war. They're shooting guns. They're fighting a war against the Scars, and they're chasing Ellie and Dina and Jesse around. And like, in fact, like, do infected react to sounds, or they react to like the roots or whatever?
Yeah, well, the roots kind of like detect them, I think, if you're breathing on them
So
or
I guess there's no
whatever.
roots or anything under Seattle or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a change from the game. They still didn't really use it at all, except for that first episode where they find them in Jackson. And then it like randomly draws the entire massive horde to them from miles away.
Yeah.
But apparently in Seattle, there aren't any of those. It's too wet or something. I don't know.
Previously on the Last of Dykes. Yeah. Well, apparently, like I said earlier, Druckmann, Abbie, unfortunately for Druckmann, is a straight. So, which means that he's most likely going to have to do a straight romance scene for that one. Must be very hard on him to have to do that. We've had 2 gay romance episodes and seen actually one whole episode devoted. God, looking back on that episode now, like there's still some of these freaks are still praising that episode. Like looking back on that episode now, it just proves that it was nothing but fucking filler, nothing but just the message.
They've evangelized that as, episode 3 of The Last of Us. Of course, everybody knows that's a 10 out of 10.
At least we can get excited for Fat Geralt.
Yes, that's in the California. That might be season 4. We might have to wait a while because he comes in and punches Abbie down.
Maybe that'll be a new zombie variant for season 3. Maybe we'll get some gay zombies, some gay infected. Maybe like they infect you and they make you gay. Maybe that's the real. Maybe that's the real infection. And they're not going after the people anymore. They're just they're emitting the pheromones and they're emitting the spores, and they're turning people gay. That way, that humans go extinct.
The spores are turning the freaking zombies gay.
Dina got fingered. Yep. So, yeah, pretty quick one tonight, you guys. I've been, as you guys know, we did the real Star Wars celebration over the weekend. I'm still kind of recovering from that. I think we've done like almost, between all the gatekeepers and myself, we've done like 12 hours of streaming in the last 3 days. It continues tonight on Star Wars Marvel Purists channel. I will be on there to talk about. I'm going to drop the link here in the chat if you guys want to tune into that. We're going to be talking. I don't even know what's the theme. Does he have the theme up? I'm on his channel right now. Does he have
it just leftovers or?
The theme is the Sith tonight. Okay, real Star Wars celebration night for the Sith. I will be on to talk about the Darth Bane trilogy, which I just finished reading a couple of weeks ago. So him and I think we're going to open talking about that, and then I think he's got some others coming on to talk about some other stuff in the EU, or I think they're talking about Plagueis as well, the Plagueis novel, and some stuff, talking about some cool stuff. And then I think we're all going to come back and sign off on the real Star Wars celebration as well. So tune into that. There's the link one more time in the chat. So yeah, so if you want to see some more of me, I will be on there in probably 2 to 3 hours. Wait, when's it starting? In about, probably in about 2 hours. Head on over there on Star Wars Marvel Purists channel, and we'll be talking about that. Then him and I are going to be, plan is to break down Ironheart. I might just have to start calling those like that. I think I'm going to just start calling these toxic reviews, because I have a feeling that one's going to be very negative. And so I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned potentially for that. That's like about a month out and everything. So, and also, Last of Us Shills Defend, The Last of Us Season 2. I think I'm going to shoot for Wednesday on that. I've been compiling. I haven't even started the video. I'm still compiling clips. I have a ton of fucking shill videos, reviews that I got to get through with this, but we got some good shit for that. So Last of Us Season 2, Shills Defend. Expect that probably on Wednesday. Should be a big video on the main channel. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the main channel. Let me drop that link in here. Believe it or not, I have a lot of people who are subscribed to the subscribe to this channel, the second channel, and not subscribed to the main channel. It's crazy. So let me drop the link to that real quick for you guys. Good shit coming on over there. Got a lot of videos already up on The Last of Us. I think I'm going to re-release all the Last of Us shills react to the woke scenes as like a big compilation, as like a big supercut. I might on this channel probably release that tomorrow.
The Ellie shirtless scene. You got to comb through their reactions of that.
I think I'm just going to get to the maybe I will after, but right now I'm focusing on the shills defend.
Yeah, and obviously the fingering one. Oh, season 3 is gonna have.
Yeah, it would have made more sense to do. I mean, at least give part 1 2 seasons and part 2 2 seasons. It would have made sense to at least do that. Makes sense instead of wrapping up the better of the 2 games in one episode or in one season, and then 3 seasons for the shittier of the 2, right?
Or do it chronologically. Have the flashbacks play out, and then, you know, work your way into the plot of the second game as it happened linearly.
I guess.
Then you would have kept Pedro around for episodes, and your ratings wouldn't have plummeted so much.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have had a successful season 2. But yeah, and I think what's her face probably definitely wants more juicing from the Real Rejects.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna call this one kind of earlier today, you guys. Thanks for tuning in for this series and everything, you guys. Check me out on Star Wars Marvel Purist channel here in a couple of hours. I got to get ready for that. John, anything else before we sign off? I guess maybe we'll be back for season 3. I don't know. In 2 years, see you in 2 years for season 3.
See if anybody's still watching even at that point.
Unless it gets canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it gets canceled, we'll have a great video on that. We can all get our champagne bottles and toast to Druckmann.
Yep.
But no, nothing in particular as far as Star Wars go. I'm trying to get another book review, and I'm probably gonna be playing some Star Wars games. In honor of the real Star Wars celebration, I downloaded some Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy, and the episode 1 game again. See if I'll fool around with those a little bit tonight, since it's the last day of that.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you in the chat on Purists stream later. I don't think that one's going to be, each one of these have been like over 4 hours. I don't think that one's going to be over 4 hours, but I guess we'll see. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. I guess I'll see some of you in a couple hours then. All right, guys. Later.